All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Houston Rockets in today's video. Reed Shepard was drafted a couple of weeks ago, pick number 3. I have a feeling that this will be a draft just like Michael Jordan being selected at pick number 3. And yes, I realized I just compared Reed Shepard to Michael Jordan. My point is, you'll look back at this draft in 20 years, 10 years, and you'll be like, Reed Shepard was drafted 3rd in his draft, right? And everybody will be like, yeah. Who are the first 2 picks? And, we'll wait and see how all this ends up. But my point is, Reed Shepard at pick number 3 was an absolute steal. I still believe this was by far the best player in the draft. By far the best player in the draft. Folks, when you hear, I literally just heard it said like this, Reed Shepard made more shots than he missed. When Reed Shepard took a 3 last year at Kentucky, there was a greater probability of that ball going in than it not and missing. But we're talking about 3-point shots. I'm not talking about layups. I'm not talking about dunks. I'm not talking about free throws. We're talking about legitimate 3-point shots. And don't bring up, college line to the NBA line. That doesn't, Reed Shepard couldn't give less F's about that. But just in general, when you look at the advanced statistics, Reed Shepard, whether it was NBA level 3 shots, whether it was catch and shoot, whether it was unguarded catch and shoot, all of the advanced metrics show that Reed Shepard was by far the best shooter in college basketball last season. So welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're actually talking about the Houston Rockets in total because we got to figure out who's a part of the Rockets' future. But we just did a little ramble on Reed Shepard because 2 days from now, or 1 day from now, or maybe even by now, you're going to be watching him play a lot of basketball in Summer League. So welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Houston Rockets in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NBA Rockets content. Try and get this video to 150 likes. That would mean the absolute world to me. So the Rockets right now, Reed Shepard fits perfectly, especially with Freddie Double V, Rockford's finest, especially with Alperen Sengun, who's quickly establishing himself as one of the most versatile big men in the NBA. And I just love his fit off of the bench with Amen Thompson. I think Amen Thompson's weaknesses and flaws are like Reed Shepard's strengths and vice versa. I think they're just a very complementary group. I think he moves very fluidly, and Freddie Double V is going to help him mentor there a lot. But everyone's freaking out about the future. And by freaking out about the future, I mean, national media is saying, yeah, Houston's got all these picks. They've got all this nice talent. Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun are due for max contract extensions at the start of this upcoming season. They're unlikely to give them. They can't hold all of them. I mean, folks, this is the Rockets roster right now. This is their starting 10. Freddie Double V, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, Tarda Eason, Steven Adams. Now, I'm just going to throw AJ Griffin into that mix there. You can't pay all the young cats, but that's a phenomenal problem to have. So real quick on Reed Shepard, we've talked about him all the time in the last couple of weeks. 12.5 points, 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2.5 steals. I mean, this was his steals per game at Kentucky where he's breaking records. Coming off the bench, 54% from the field, 52% from downtown, and 83% from the free throw line. He's going to bring efficiency through the roof. And once again, injuries happen. I hate even talking about injuries, but you're going to see him get some spot starts. I assume you're going to see him play with the starters. I assume he's going to close out some games. It's a long 82-game season, and I cannot wait for Reed Shepard. But the future is still a little bit murky because we're still waiting for a superstar to establish himself, or at the very least, a star. And it's looking like it's going to be Alperen Sengun. Green and Sengun will hit restricted free agency next summer if they do not have an agreement in place before the start of this upcoming or next season. So Jalen Green is getting a lot of talk right now because you're seeing some crazy contracts, especially from his class like Cade Cunningham. Franz Wagner was just extended as well. But to me, the future of the Houston Rockets stardom is based around Alperen Sengun, because he's establishing himself, especially this past season where we saw statistics of 21.1 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, and 5 assists. But here, what's crazy? He's 21. He's 21 years old, putting up 21, 9, and 5. I mean, if Alperen Şengün gets a legitimate, consistent three-point shot where he's shooting around 35% from downtown on at least like 3 threes per game, he'll be a top 10 player in the NBA. But this is all in the future. He's still just 21 years old. So when I hear the question, who's a part of the Houston Rockets' future, I don't know. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be Alperen Şengün. I think Jalen Green, definitely, if he has a good season this upcoming year, he'll be a part of the Rockets long term. But what I want is a playoff win. I want a playoff series win, and then Şengün will officially be established as a star, I assume, and we can go from there. Players improve, players get worse. Everyone loves to compare them to the Oklahoma City Thunder because OKC 2 years ago won, what was it, 41, 42. I think they actually won 40 games. I think they went 40 and 42 and lost in the play-in, lost in the first game. They might have just missed it. Of course, this is stuff you have planned for a video. But my point is the Thunder went from a 40-win team to a 58-win team. And Houston was one of the worst teams in NBA history the past 3 years under Steven Silas, and they just won 41 freaking basketball games. And Jalen Green had a horrible first half. Guys like Tari Eason were injured. So as far as the question, who's a part of the Houston Rockets' future, well, I don't care because the present is currently Reed Shepard, AJ Griffin, Alperen Şengün, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore. They all have various degrees of upside. So we'll deal with this when it comes, but I want a top 6 seed. And people are saying, well, look at LeBron. LeBron freaking made the play-in. LeBron missed the top 6 seed. Look at the Golden State Warriors. They had Steph, Clay, Dre. They missed they lost the first game in the play-in. Like, I want a top 6 seed. One good thing the Rockets have in their advantage, as opposed to having like a solidified, proven superstar or even a star, even though I think Alperen Şengün at this point is a star in the league, is youth. Their youth should be able to propel this, and I mean, they clearly have talent. And they've got one of the best coaches in the NBA. And of course, in this video, we're talking mainly about the youngsters. We're not even mentioning Fred, Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams, who nobody even knows Steven Adams is actually on the Houston Rockets because he was injured last season. We traded for him at the deadline when he was injured. The Rockets are going to be very competitive, but their youthfulness should be able to get, like Tari Eason 2 years ago, 82 games. Jalen Green this past season, 82 games. They should be young enough to compete night in, night out, barring any crazy injuries, to acquire like 50 wins and get a top 6 seed and win a playoff series. And then we can get into some real fun talks. And we're a year away from that. This is going to be a phenomenal Rocket season. I cannot freaking wait. Let me know what you guys are thinking, especially about Reed Shepard. But guys, hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Give me a win prediction for the Houston Rockets this upcoming season. Let me know down below. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon, hopefully with a Summer League recap. Peace.